Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Indianapolis B. So this is a ship that's been pretty requested over the time, so here we are. Again, folks request things, I give them what they want. So I hope you guys are ready. This one's going to be a fun little match. Some different, completely different than we normally do. And it just goes to show that, yes, I can play other things than battleships. People seem to forget that. But yeah, I know, it's crazy. But we're in the Indianapolis, American heavy cruiser, for those of you who don't know. I could be wrong, but I think it's a Northampton class heavy cruiser. Kind of looks like a New Orleans class, but it's not. I believe it's a Northampton. Somebody gonna have to let me know down in the comments below, because I could be wrong, and I'm sure you guys will let me know. Now, I love the Black Friday ships. You guys know this. That deep black with like silver or different highlights, accents, if you will, that they end up putting on these ships just makes all the difference. Now, what is the Indianapolis, and why is it so much fun? Well, it's an American heavy cruiser. It's got one gimmick, and it's a good one. It's stupidly accurate. That is it. That's its only gimmick. It is stupidly accurate for an American heavy cruiser. Why is that so dangerous? Well, stupidly accurate plus ridiculously hard-hitting guns equal bad day for other cruiser players. Because this thing packs the firepower of a battleship. Kind of. Not really. I just said that because it sounds good. But no. This thing, much like the Baltimore, much like the New Orleans, much like the Pensacola, all these American heavy cruisers have some of the nastiest armor piercing you are going to go up against. And God help you if you get caught. So, as we push in, this also has radar. Something fun. Oh look, an Indianapolis versus an Indianapolis B. Who will win the fight? Usually the first person to land a significant win, or a significant hit, wins the battle. And right off the bat, we take half that man's hit points. And he's like, I don't like this engagement anymore. I thought, being in an Indianapolis, that I was the owner of the seas. And you'd be correct, except I'm also in an Indianapolis, so you're kind of just another ship. I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna like this, is what I'm saying. Now, I don't know if there are any actual differences between the Indy and the Indy B, but either way, there's a big difference in the getting caught broadside and losing half your hit points, and then trying to survive versus getting caught after you've already engaged and you're able to dodge, which this thing is very good at. The Indy is a very agile cruiser. And it's a radar cruiser, like I said. Now, I was spotted for a little bit here. I don't know who was spotting me, but somebody was, and it was not in the Indianapolis. But either way, they're not in our range. Indianapolis comes around the corner begging for it, and somehow we managed to not get that kill? Question mark? How is it that the Indy shells from this close got beat by the Miyoko, who's 6 kilometers behind me? The world may never know. What we do know is the donkey is on his way. So we are going to try to showcase what this thing is capable of against battleships. Now, what is the downsides of the Indianapolis? Well, it's a very big ship. It has a lot of surface area for shells to be caught, so you gotta be careful. And it has slow turning turrets. And that is the biggest issue, because as agile as this ship is, you're really only as effective as the amount of firepower you can keep on the target. And if you're constantly an open water gunboat, like we are in this match, and you have to dodge, you're going to struggle to get those guns to be on target as efficiently as some other ships. But where this ship truly struggles is against battleships. Specifically, battleships with high caliber guns. Donkey, not really the scariest battleship in the world, and we're going to kind of showcase that. Now, initially, we're not doing a whole lot to the Donkey. He's turning towards us to bow tank us, so I switch over to the HE to showcase that, yes, you can use high explosive in American heavy cruisers, and it is very effective, especially when it's incredibly accurate, like it is on this ship. But at the end of the day, it is still an American heavy cruiser that just, the shells do seem to be pretty slow. So while it is very accurate, landing those shells at long range can be trivial at times. But it can also be incredibly rewarding to go out and just bully people. And that's what I like to do. You guys know this. I like to bully people. I'm not in real life, but in the video game. I love to bully people. Not like that, not yelling and screaming into the chat. I know some of y'all out there think, well, yeah, no kidding, pardon, all you want to do, blah, 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 blah. Stop it! Not what I meant. We are going to get the cap here, so we're just waiting for the cap. Finally, we get the cap, so now we're going to move out. We got a lot of targets out here. Beautiful looking Atlanta. Now, Atlanta's an interesting one for me, because I know that I can absolutely annihilate this Atlanta. However, Atlanta's not alone, is he? He got 2 battleships and another cruiser there. Plus, Atlanta is a high DPM ship. And at these ranges, there's potential that he could be pretty nasty to us. Whether with HE or AP. And this guy understands that he has armor piercing. Now, obviously, we get spotted initially because of the people that are with this Atlanta. Atlanta opens the angle and gets extremely lucky to not just get yeeted right there. He was angled. We had every opportunity to citadel that man. But the good news is we do overmatch the Atlanta. He has no armor, which is the problem when he's broadside, because we're not even with Azure Lane Baltimore's special perk. Ouch. God darn it. This is the problem with fighting the Atlanta while trying to also, like, dodge the battleships that are around us. Atlanta, thankfully, is shooting AP, which is doing very little to us because we're able to angle against most of it, and he does a couple hits here and there, but if he was shooting HE, he'd be doing much more damage. But you can see, it doesn't matter what angle he decides to go to, we're still going to be able to punch straight through. He's done. He has no chance. There's no pass and go, no collecting $200. If there wasn't a battleship near him right now, protecting his flank, he'd already been dead. But after a little bit of convincing, he goes down, and that leaves this Duke of York and the Amono. Now, as Amono pushes in, he gets absolutely yeeted, and so now it's just me and the Duke of York. Now, up to this point, we really haven't done a lot of damage, but we've done what we needed to do on our side of the match, and that's what these American ships are good at. They're very good at doing their job. And so when you are in one of these ships, you have to understand what your role is. And then do your best to be in position to fill that role. It's not always easy. And definitely will get you killed if you're not careful, because you got to be in position to take advantage of the enemy's mistakes, and a lot of times that leads you to being at the front. And when you're at the front in a ship like the Indy, you use the agility to your advantage, but even then, all it takes is one mistake to send you back to port against battleships especially. Cruisers aren't really a threat to an Indy or any other American heavy cruiser. Generally speaking, and I do mean this generally, okay? So generally speaking, if you put 2 same, like, fighting style commanders, you and a guy that you're up against, and they're both in cruisers, the American cruiser will win more often than not at the same skill level. Why is that? It's because they have all the tools. You have everything at your disposal. You're not limited in what you're capable of doing. People stay bow in. We just citadel the Duke of York at 14 kilometers. Just throw that out there. What do you think would happen to a cruiser, right? But as we finish off the Duke of York, that gives us our 3rd kill, and we got quite a bit of hit points off that man. Unfortunately, we don't have the range to shoot the Colorado here, but there is a very, very healthy Queen Elizabeth out here that we are in range for. So we immediately start shooting at him. But, like I said, I don't fear any cruiser in an American heavy cruiser, and the reason isn't because I'm some amazing player. We all know differently than that. I've always said that I'm above average at best, and I am definitely a battleship main. There's a reason for that. I'm better in battleships than I am in cruiser. prefer battleships. I prefer the playstyle of battleships over the playstyle of cruisers. But when I am in cruisers, I tend to be extremely aggressive. Shocker. I know. It's crazy. Who'd have seen that coming? But when I am in cruisers, I enjoy the American cruisers, not because I'm biased towards the Americans, just because they're all very good. They just are. You got some of the nastiest, hard-hitting AP out there. You've got decent armor, usually. This isn't one of those ships because pretty much everything just smashes this thing if you get caught, which is why we die. But learning to dodge incoming shells, timing the enemy's reloads is a very important skill for those cruiser commanders out there who are on their way up. Because you don't want to rely on armor to protect you in a cruiser. Because more often than not, you will be let down. Violently. But when you do get to a point where you've gotten the idea, and this is why I say it's so important to play everything, guys, because it is. Like, if you play everything, you understand about how long it takes certain ships to reload, and you can dodge more effectively by essentially anticipating. Look at the accuracy of this ship, by the way. Look at that. Look at that accuracy. Oh, sadness. Thought I was gonna break 100K there. And it wasn't the highest damage game in the world, but we completely raffle-stomped our side. 92,000 damage, top of the leaderboard, 2,300 base XP, showcasing the NDB in its element. And, you know, it is an ambush predator, right? Make no mistake about it. It can brawl, it can do what it's got to do against, you know, other cruisers. But against battleships, distance is going to be your friend. Because you got to have that reaction time. You've got to have that ability to dodge. Because if you don't, you're going back to port. Quickly. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you still enjoying these little one-off videos where you guys send in requests and I fill the ship? And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.